Captain Duhan stood at the window of the Galactic Council station, watching the stars. His reflection showed a tired man in a crisp diplomatic uniform. 20 years of being nice to aliens who looked down on humans was wearing him out. "Sir, you need to see this." Ji Young walked into his office, holding a datapad. Her usually calm face showed worry. As his best intelligence officer, she rarely got upset over small things. "What did you find?" Duhan asked, turning away from the window. "The Galactic Council had a secret meeting yesterday. They're calling Earth a Class 12 death world now. They want to put us in quarantine." Ji-Yum's hands shook as she showed him the classified video. Duhan watched the recording. The alien delegates sat in their special environment suits, as usual. They always needed protection from what they called harsh conditions, things that were normal for humans. "These humans are too dangerous," said the delegate from the Nivian Empire, his environmental suit glowing blue. "They walk around in temperatures that would freeze our blood. They breathe poison air. They even enjoy spicy food that would burn through our stomachs." "Did you see the latest report?" asked another delegate, this one floating in a bubble of liquid. "Their children play in radiation levels that would kill our strongest warriors. They call it getting a tan." Duhan would have laughed if the situation wasn't so serious. Humans had been pretending to be weaker than they were, trying to make the aliens comfortable. Now that act was falling apart. "There's more, sir," Ji-Young said. She played another video. This one showed security footage from Earth's embassy. A maintenance accident had dropped the temperature to freezing. The alien staff had passed out immediately, but the human workers had simply put on light jackets and carried the aliens to safety. They had even made jokes about it being a bit chilly. "They're scared of us," Duhan said quietly. "All this time, we've been acting gentle and careful, like we're as fragile as they are, but they're starting to see the truth." Ji-Young nodded. "The Council's Science Division has been collecting data. They've realized that what they consider survival situations, we consider mild inconvenience. What they see as deadly environments, we call bad weather." "How long until they vote on the quarantine?" Duhan asked, already thinking ahead. 3 days, sir, but there's something else." Ji-Young looked even more worried. "Some delegates are calling for stronger action. They think we're too dangerous to let us keep our space travel technology." Duhan walked back to the window. In the reflection, he could see his face harden. For 20 years, he had played the part of a polite, careful diplomat. He had pretended that humans were just another gentle species trying to fit in with galactic society. That act was over now. "Send a message to Earth," he said. "Tell them it's time for Plan Delta. If they want to see how dangerous humans can be, we'll show them." "Yes, sir." Ji-Young turned to leave, then stopped. "Sir, the aliens? They're not ready for what humans can really do, are they?" Duhan smiled, but there was no warmth in it. "No, they're not. They think they've been dealing with civilized diplomats. They're about to meet Deathworlders who are done pretending." As Ji-Young left, Duhan looked out at the stars again. Somewhere out there, the aliens were making plans to contain humanity. They thought they were the predators and humans were the prey. They were about to learn a very important lesson about evolution on a death world. The creatures that survive there are the ones you should fear the most. Ambassador Hejun noticed the changes right away. The alien diplomats moved away when he entered a room. Their environmental suits hummed louder, as if trying to protect them from some invisible danger. Even the bravest species kept their distance now. "They're watching us again," Security Chief Eunji reported during their morning meeting. She placed a small device on Hejun's desk. "We found 10 new scanning devices hidden in the human quarter. They're measuring our body temperature, strength, and endurance." Hejun picked up the scanner. It was well made but obvious to human eyes. The aliens still didn't understand how sharp human senses were. "What are they learning from these?" "Everything we didn't want them to know," Eunji said. "Yesterday, one of our maintenance workers lifted a broken door alone. It weighed as much as 3 alien security guards. The scanners recorded his muscle activity. And, Hajun asked, already knowing the answer. He wasn't even trying hard. The aliens are terrified. Yunji showed him the data. They've realized we've been pretending to need help with heavy objects. They know now that we're much stronger than we've let on. The morning meeting was interrupted when alarms started blaring. Red lights flashed in the corridors. Hajun checked his computer screen and frowned. Life support failure in Section 7, he announced. The aliens are evacuating. Yunji checked her tablet. Temperature is dropping to what they consider deadly levels. For us, it's like a cold winter day. Hajun stood up. Let's help with the evacuation. But this time, let them see what we can really do. They walked to Section 7 without environmental suits. The aliens stared in horror as humans moved through what they considered lethal conditions, carrying alien diplomats to safety. Some humans even took off their jackets, comfortable in the cold. Impossible, whispered a high-ranking alien delegate as Hajun carried him to safety. You should be frozen. Your blood should have stopped flowing. This. Hajun smiled. On Earth, we call this skiing weather. Some of us go camping in conditions much worse than this. The delegate's translator clicked rapidly as it processed this information. Camping. You sleep outside. In the deadly cold. For fun. Hajun added, watching the delegate's color change to a pale green of shock. Some of us climb mountains where the air is so thin other species would die in minutes. We call it a hobby. After the evacuation, Hajun received an urgent message from Captain Duhan. The quarantine vote was moving faster now. The aliens had seen too much. They're afraid of us. Hajun told Unji as they watched repair crews work in the cold section. Not because we threatened them, but because we're showing them what normal humans can do. Yunji nodded. Did you see their faces when team leader Myre worked in the -10-degree section without gloves? They thought she would lose her fingers. Instead, she fixed their life support in what they consider deadly conditions. We've hidden our true nature for too long, Hajun said, trying to make them comfortable, pretending their normal environment isn't ridiculously easy for us to survive in. A group of alien delegates hurried past, their environmental suits working hard to protect them from what humans considered mild discomfort. They looked at Hajun with new eyes now, not with the usual diplomatic politeness, but with primitive fear. Captain Duhan says it's time, Hajun told Unji quietly. No more pretending to be weak. No more hiding what we are. And what are we? Yunji asked, though she knew the answer. We are Deathworlders, Hajun said, watching another alien delegation rush away from him. And it's time the galaxy learned what that really means. The explosion ripped through the human quarter of Galactic Station 7 at midnight. Medical officer Myre was working late in her clinic when the blast shattered the windows and tore open the station's hull. Warning sirens screamed as the air began to rush out into space. Myre didn't panic. She took one deep breath and held it. Humans could survive in vacuum for almost 2 minutes. The aliens who had planned this attack didn't know that. She moved quickly through the depressurized corridor, her trained mind counting the seconds. Ahead, she saw 3 human maintenance workers already sealing the hull breach. They worked efficiently in the vacuum, their movements precise despite the lack of air. 40 seconds, Myre thought to herself. She had plenty of time. She found the first group of aliens near the emergency shelters. Their environmental suits had failed in the explosion. Myre picked up 2 of them in each arm and carried them to safety. Her lungs were starting to burn, but she ignored the discomfort. Inside the sealed emergency shelter, Myre finally took a breath. The alien she had rescued stared at her in shock. Their translators sparked with confused signals. How? One of them asked. No species can survive in vacuum. It's impossible. Myre checked their vital signs while she answered. Humans can. Not for long, but long enough. We've trained for it. The station's security cameras had recorded everything. Mayray knew that by now, the entire Galactic Council was watching humans work in conditions that should have killed them instantly. They were seeing the truth about Earth's children. Captain Duhan's voice came over the emergency channel. Medical Officer Mayray, report. 27 aliens rescued, she responded. No casualties. Hull breach contained. The human quarter is damaged, but our people are fine. We're using the vacuum exposure as an excuse to check everyone's space survival training. She heard Duhan's quiet laugh. Good thinking. Let them see what we can do. How are our people handling it? Mayray looked around the emergency shelter. The human staff were treating it like a training exercise, sharing jokes about working in space without suits. Some were comparing their vacuum exposure times like it was a friendly competition. We're treating it as a minor inconvenience, she reported. The aliens are disturbed by our reaction. Through the shelter's window, Mayray could see more humans working outside in the vacuum, repairing the damage. They moved between patches of atmosphere, holding their breath like swimmers. To the aliens, it looked impossible. The attackers made a mistake, Mayray told Duhan. They thought removing our air would kill us. Instead, they've shown everyone that we don't need it as much as they thought. An alien medical team arrived, dressed in thick protective suits. They stopped when they saw humans treating both alien and human patients without any special equipment. Mayray was using her bare hands to seal wounds that would have burned other species. Your touch, one alien doctor said, it should be too hot for the patients. Your body temperature is perfect for encouraging healing, Mayray finished. Human body heat helps stabilize most species in shock. We've been keeping that quiet until now. The alien doctor backed away. Mayray understood. They were finally seeing that every human adaptation they had feared was real. Humans really could survive vacuum. They really could work in deadly conditions. They really were the monsters that evolution had created. Should we continue hiding our abilities? Mayray asked Duhan over the comm. No, he replied. The charade is over. Let them see what Deathworlders can do. It's time they learned why Earth's gravity, atmosphere, and wildlife made us what we are. Mayray nodded and turned back to her patients. Around her, humans continued working in conditions that the aliens considered lethal. The facade of being a normal, average species was falling away. The Deathworlders were done pretending. Lieutenant Suji watched the Galactic Council's vote on the main screen. The result surprised no one. They had voted to restrict human expansion into space. Now they were discussing even stronger measures against Earth. They're afraid, Captain Duhan said, standing beside her. After the station attack, they've seen what we can do. Now they want to stop us before we get stronger. Suji nodded. Her team had found proof that aliens were already working against human colonies. We have evidence of sabotage on 5 colony worlds, sir. They're targeting our food supplies, thinking we'll give up and leave. What they don't understand is that humans can eat things that would kill them, Duhan replied. Show me what else you found. Suji displayed her findings on the screen. The aliens had tried to make the colonies uninhabitable. They had changed the air mixture, increased radiation levels, and even introduced what they thought were deadly predators. The colonists adapted, Suji reported. They're breathing the changed air without problems. The radiation levels are lower than Earth's natural background radiation. And those predators, the colonists have turned them into pets. Duhan smiled. It wasn't a pleasant smile. The aliens think they're pushing us out. Instead, they're proving why Deathworlders are so dangerous. We don't just survive. We turn hostile environments into homes. A message flashed on Suji's screen. More sabotage had been detected at the newest colony. This time, the aliens had gone too far. They had poisoned the water supply with chemicals that would kill most species. Sir, Suji said, permission to show them why this was a mistake. Duhan looked at the data. The chemicals were strong acids. To most species, they were deadly poison. To humans, they were weaker than stomach acid. Permission granted, Lieutenant. Take your team. Show them what humans can really do. Suji's team moved fast. They didn't bother with protective gear. They didn't need it. The aliens watched in horror as humans drank the poisoned water, using it to make coffee. The acid levels in this water, Suji told the hidden alien observers, are lower than what we put in our soft drinks. Earth children drink stronger acids for fun. We call it soda. Her team started cleaning the water supply, working with bare hands in conditions that should have dissolved their flesh. Instead, they looked bored. Some complained that the water wasn't cold enough. Send the video to the Galactic Council, Duhan ordered over the comm. Let them see what their sabotage accomplished. Show them why challenging Deathworlders is a bad idea. The alien observers fled when they realized their poison had failed. They had just learned something important. Earth creatures didn't follow the normal rules of biology. What killed other species made humans stronger. Should we go after them? Suji asked, watching the aliens run. No, Duhan replied. Let them report what they saw. Let them tell everyone that their worst fears about humans were right. We're done hiding our strength. Suji turned to her team. They had finished cleaning the water supply and were now improving it, making it more efficient than before. The aliens' attack had only made the colony stronger. This is why Deathworlders are different, she thought. We don't just survive attacks. We learn from them. We get better. And now the galaxy will learn why Earth's creatures are the apex predators of every world we touch. Colony Administrator Taiwan stood at the defense center of New Seoul Colony, watching the alien ships approach. The evacuation alarms were silent. No one was running. The colonists were calm, going about their daily work as if nothing was wrong. They're coming to save us, Taiwan said to his staff, sharing the message from the alien fleet. They think the high gravity and toxic atmosphere are killing us. They want to rescue us from what they call a death trap. His assistant checked the readings. The colony's gravity was 3 times Earth normal. The air contained gases that would kill most species. The temperature was hot enough to cook alien flesh. To the humans of New Seoul, it was just another warm Tuesday. Should we tell them we chose this planet because it reminds us of home? One of the staff asked. Let them find out themselves, Taiwan replied. They need to learn what Deathworlders are really like. The alien ships landed outside the colony's walls. Rescue teams in heavy protective suits rushed out, expecting to find dying humans. Instead, they found children playing in the yard, adults working in the fields, and engineers building new homes. Welcome to New Seoul, Taiwan greeted them through the translator. I understand you're here to save us. The alien commander stared at the humans walking around in what his instruments said was lethal conditions. How are you alive? The gravity should have crushed your bones. The air should have poisoned you. The heat should have killed you. This, Taiwan gestured at their surroundings. This is nothing. On Earth, we have places much more extreme. We chose this planet because it's comfortable for us. Our children are growing up stronger here than they will on gentler worlds. As if to prove his point, a group of human children ran past, playing a game in the crushing gravity. They jumped and rolled, their bodies perfectly adapted to conditions that would kill most species instantly. You see, Taiwan continued, we're not trapped here. We're thriving. Every condition you think is deadly just makes us stronger. That's what it means to be a Deathworlder. The alien rescue teams backed away as more humans approached. They saw humans working barehanded with materials hot enough to melt their protective suits. They watched humans breathe toxic air like it was nothing. They witnessed children playing in radiation levels that their instruments said were lethal. Send the message, the alien commander said to his team. The humans, they're not surviving here. They're choosing to live here. They're getting stronger here. Taiwan watched the aliens retreat to their ships. They had come to save humans from a deadly world. Instead, they had discovered why Deathworlders were the most feared species in the galaxy. They finally understand, Todd once said to his staff. What they call deadly, we call home. What they see as hostile conditions, we see as a chance to grow stronger. They thought they were coming to rescue us, but they've only learned why Earth's children are the apex predators of any world we choose. The alien ships lifted off, leaving the colony behind. They had come looking for victims to save. They had found something much more terrifying. Humans who turned death worlds into playgrounds, who treated lethal conditions as mild inconveniences, who grew stronger in environments that should kill them. They had found true Deathworlders. And now they understood why the galaxy feared them. Commander Yoon, he received the attack alert in her office on the Earth Defense Station. 3 alien fleets were approaching human space. They thought their superior numbers would give them victory. They were wrong. Let them come, she said to her bridge crew. It's time to show them why challenging Earth was their biggest mistake. The alien ships arrived in perfect formation. Their commanders sent a message demanding that humans return to their home world. They called Earth a prison planet, saying humans belonged in their natural death world. Yoon-hee's response was simple. You don't understand. We haven't been trapped on Earth. Earth has been protecting you from us. She gave the order, and human ships moved into position. The aliens watched in confusion as the smaller human fleet approached without fear. They didn't understand that humans had been holding back in previous encounters. All ships, disable your safety protocols. Yoon-hee commanded. Show them what our ships can really do. The human vessels accelerated to speeds that the aliens had thought impossible. The G-forces would have killed any other species, but humans had evolved on a heavy gravity world. Their bodies handled the extreme forces with ease. They're launching their weapons, her tactical officer reported. Standard energy weapons designed to disable ship systems. Yoon-hee nodded. Let them see how humans fight when we stop pretending. The alien weapons hit their targets, but human ships didn't fall. The crews worked through conditions that would have incapacitated other species. They ignored radiation levels that should have been lethal. They operated in temperatures that would freeze or burn other life forms. Return fire, Yoon-hee ordered. Show them what Earth weapons can do. The human ships released their full power. Weapons that had been deliberately weakened for years fired at their true strength. The alien shift shields, designed to handle the weapons of civilized species, failed instantly. They're retreating, the tactical officer announced. Their commanders are sending distress signals. Let them run, Yoon-hee said. Let them tell everyone what happened when they challenged Deathworlders. The alien fleet scattered. They had expected to fight ships operated by normal creatures. Instead, they had faced vessels crewed by humans who treated lethal conditions as minor inconveniences, who operated in radiation zones like they were safe spaces, who moved through crushing forces as if they were nothing. Send a message to Earth Command, Yoon-hee ordered. Tell them the aliens now understand what it means to fight humans at full strength. Her crew worked efficiently, recording the battle data. Every screen showed the same thing. Human ships operating at levels that should have been impossible. Crews functioning in conditions that would kill most species instantly. They thought we were weak because we were civilized, Yoon-hee told her bridge crew. They didn't understand that we chose to be gentle, that we held back our true capabilities. Now they know why Earth's gravity and harsh conditions created the most dangerous species in the galaxy. The stars looked different now. The galaxy was learning a harsh lesson. Humans hadn't been confined to Earth because they were prisoners. They had stayed there to protect other species from themselves. Now that protection was gone, the Deathworlders were loose, and the galaxy would never be the same. Dr. Minho stood before the captured alien scientists in the Earth Science Academy's main lecture hall. The aliens sat in their environmental suits, surrounded by conditions they considered barely survivable. To the humans in the room, it was a comfortable spring day. You wanted to understand humans, Minho began, displaying Earth's environmental data on the large screen. Today, I will explain why we are what we are. The alien scientists watched as images of Earth appeared. They saw storms that could tear buildings apart, oceans that could crush ships, and mountains that reached into thin air. They saw predators with deadly natural weapons, plants that could kill with a touch, and weather that changed from burning hot to freezing cold in hours. "This is what created us," Minho explained. "Earth is not just a death world. It is a forge that shaped humans into the ultimate survivors. Every threat you can imagine, Earth threw at us, and we adapted to them all." He showed them human medical data next. The aliens' instruments recorded everything. Dense bones that could withstand massive impacts, muscles that could generate impossible force, and a nervous system that could process information faster than any known species. "Your strongest warriors," Minho continued, "would die from what we call a mild workout. Your most advanced environmental suits cannot match what our skin does naturally. Your fastest reaction times are slower than our relaxed state." One alien scientist raised a trembling appendage. "But how do you control such powerful bodies? How do you prevent yourselves from destroying everything you touch?" Minho smiled. "We learn control as children. Every human child must learn to be gentle. We grow up knowing we must be careful with other species, just as you must be careful with your young." He showed them videos of human children playing. The aliens watched in amazement as young humans controlled their strength perfectly, handling delicate objects with care even while playing rough games with each other. "This is why we succeeded in the galaxy," Minho said. "Not just because we are strong, but because we learned to control our strength. We chose to be gentle. We chose to be civilized." The screen showed more Earth scenes. Humans climbing mountains without equipment, swimming in deadly cold water, eating foods that would poison other species, and treating lethal radiation as a minor inconvenience. "Evolution on Earth created something unique," Minho explained. "A species that can survive almost anywhere, adapt to almost anything, and treat deadly conditions as normal. We are not just dangerous because we are strong. We are dangerous because nothing in the galaxy can stop us from surviving." The alien scientists recorded everything, their instruments working hard to understand the humans around them. They were learning why the galaxy's attempts to contain humanity had failed so badly. "Remember this," Minho concluded. "Humans are not powerful because we chose to be. We are powerful because Earth left us no choice. We are not civilized because we are weak. We are civilized because we are strong enough to choose peace." As the alien scientists left, they finally understood the truth. They had not been dealing with a species that needed to be contained. They had been dealing with apex predators who had chosen to be kind. And now that choice was being reconsidered. The galaxy would never forget the day the Deathworlders stopped pretending. Captain Doohan walked into the Galactic Council chamber for the first time since the conflicts began. This time, he wore no diplomatic uniform. Instead, he wore standard Earth military gear, designed for functionality rather than appearance. The message was clear. The time for pretending was over. The alien representatives shifted nervously in their environmental suits as he approached the speaker's platform. They had all seen the recordings. Humans surviving in vacuum, working in radiation, treating lethal conditions as minor inconveniences. They had watched human ships move with impossible speed and strength. They had learned what Deathworlders could really do. 3 months ago, Doohan began, "You voted to quarantine humanity. You called us dangerous. You tried to contain us. Today, you will learn why that was a mistake." Ambassador Hejun stood beside him, holding a data pad with Earth's new terms. The chamber was silent as Doohan continued. "You thought Earth was a prison that kept us trapped. You were wrong. Earth was a training ground that made us strong. Every challenge you sent us was nothing compared to what Earth gave us every day." The alien delegates watched as images appeared on the chamber screens. They saw humans building colonies on worlds that should have killed them. They saw Earth children playing in conditions that would destroy most species. They saw human ships operating at levels that defied alien science. "We chose to be peaceful," Duhan said. "We chose to be gentle. We held back our strength because we wanted to be part of your civilization. But you mistook kindness for weakness." Hajun stepped forward and displayed Earth's demands. They were simple but firm. Humans would no longer pretend to be weaker than they were. They would no longer hide their true capabilities. And they would no longer accept being treated as inferior. "These are not requests," Duhan explained. "They are facts. Humanity will expand. We will colonize the worlds you call death traps. We will turn deadly environments into homes for our children. And we will do this not because we want to fight you, but because this is what we are." The alien representatives looked at each other nervously. One brave delegate spoke up. "And if we refuse these terms?" Duhan smiled, but there was no humor in it. "Then you will learn why Earth's creatures are the apex predators of every world we touch. We don't want war. But if you force us to fight, you will understand why evolution on a death world creates the strongest species." The council chamber erupted in discussion. The aliens were learning a hard lesson about the universe. They had thought themselves the civilized ones, the advanced species. Now they were facing the truth. They were not the predators they had imagined themselves to be. "The choice is yours," Duhan concluded. "Accept that humans are what we are, or learn why Deathworlders are the most feared species in the galaxy. Either way, the old order is over." As he left the chamber, Duhan knew the galaxy would never be the same. Humanity had stopped pretending. The Deathworlders had shown their true nature. And the universe would have to adapt to them, just as they had adapted to everything else. The time of hiding was over. The age of the Deathworlders had begun.